Hello and welcome to this session on the afternoon of our third day at Retail Revival. We already heard from many brands how they tackle common obstacles with innovative strategies. Now we will hear from optilyz and flaconi how they provide customers with unique experiences across all channels. I'm Norbert Grassl, Channel Sales Manager at Emarsys and responsible for our partner ecosystem. Today I'm delighted to announce our two speakers, Janina Kraus, Team Lead CRM at Flaconi, leading online shop for beauty products, and Robert Rebholz, CEO of optilyz, our partner and specialist for direct mailing. They will talk about Flaconi's customer-centric marketing approach and give us insights on how they use different channels to offer a fully personalized and unique experience to their customers. I'm really excited to hear about their strategy. And with this, I'm handing over to you, Rob.
Thank you very much. Very, very excited to be presenting today and to be joined by Janina to talk about what Flaconi is doing, how they're leveraging Emarsys, how they're leveraging the optilyz platform to take their customer centricity to the next level. And with that, I would actually hand over the microphone to you, Janina, to talk a bit about yourself as well as Flaconi.
Yes, my name is Janina. I'm the team lead of the CRM team at Flaconi. I'm at Flaconi since 2016, so for nearly 5 years now. And yeah, we are a team of 8 wonderful people, and we are working on strategies and new technologies to optimize the customer communication. And of course, with the goal to establish a long-lasting customer relationship with the Flaconi customers. When it comes to Flaconi, who is Flaconi? We are one of Germany's leading online beauty retailers, and we are offering about 850 international beauty brands. And in 2020, Flaconi achieved a revenue of nearly 300 million euros. And yeah, we have the strategic long-term goal to be the most loved online beauty destination in Europe.
Yeah, really great company. I'm actually really excited that we're working with you. The things that we're doing with Flaconi. optilyz is a direct mail software. So our solution is used to run physical mailing campaigns in a more customer-centric manner. So things like letters, postcards, and self-mailers. Next to Flaconi, we have around 300 other customers across all industries, e-commerce, retail, but then also, let's say, more traditional industries like insurance and finance across 25 countries. Something that we're very proud of is that we're 100% climate neutral. So everything that we're showing you today, despite that its physical mail is climate neutral, because we compensate the effects of sending out physical mail, while at the same time enabling companies to actually reduce these campaigns that, let's say, don't make so much sense. So really the power of what optilyz does lies in 3 areas. First, automation, moving away from just the mass mailings, the one-time campaigns towards more trigger-based touch points. So we'll have a couple of cool examples of what Flaconi is doing here. Personalization, right? Thinking about how content, even in direct mail, can be more relevant, how you can leverage things like the Emarsys recommendation service or recommendation engine, and then omnichannel, how to link this channel with other channels to have better or more powerful omnichannel customer journeys, which again is something that is nicely done at Flaconi, where this is a screenshot of the optilyz dashboard showing the Flaconi campaigns. We're not going to dive into this right here, but I think what's nice about this, what you can see is that Flaconi has a constant flow of campaigns that are running, that are triggered, that are live. And that's I think only possible to that extent if you take also a tech-driven or software-driven approach that enables you to move away from manual processes. But let's take a step back before we dive into the customer journeys and direct mail itself. Janina, maybe you can give some overview in terms of where where Flaconi stands, how you see customer centricity, customer first, and what role that plays in your job and in the company.
Yeah, so for us, the customer is the most important part of our daily business. So as you can always also see on these hashtag customer first, it's one of the 5 defined values of Flaconi. And every strategic company decision or goal is geared to these 5 defined values. So the customer first value really puts the customer in the focus of everything. So for us, it's really important to understand the customer, its individual needs, and also to satisfy these individual needs. And to fulfill this approach, you really have to offer a smooth customer experience on-site in the shop, as well as off-site in different communication touch points. And that's our main focus. And you can see communication as a key factor, because when you are interacting with a customer, he's telling you a lot of his buying intentions, his past behavior, his interests, and also about its needs. And for us, it's very important to put all this information into our different touch points. So we do not have only email or only app or only direct mail, because there is not this one communication tool that fits every needs. So it's the combination of everything. So a really successful communication, you can say, is built on these 3 main pillars. You can see here, so it's the cross channel, it's the alignment, and it's the engagement. And only if these 3 pillars work or fits, goes into another, then you have a really good base for building up a good communication.
I think that's, by the way, a really good point, that like you need a strategy before you dive into the implementation, and you need to take a step back and think about what you want to achieve versus
Correct.
being too operational is what I see very often, right? Just being too
you can try to implement every different kind of communication tool, but you really have to see which communication tool the customer wants. So you can implement emails and send 1,000 of emails per day, but if the customer doesn't show any engagement, then maybe email is not the correct tool. So you really have to see which communication tool fits to which need, and also in which part of the life cycle.
Yeah, I think, and that's you mentioned it before, right? Or just now, there is no perfect channel. I think that's something. Maybe even from my point of view, of course, I'm tainted. I love direct mail just because that's what we do. But at the same time, what I always tell companies is that there is no perfect channel, and there is no, whenever I read somebody claiming, oh, email is dead, or direct mail is dead, or this doesn't work, I always tell them that that's not the case. You have to think, like you said, about the customer. You have to think about where this customer stands. And if we look at direct mail, of course, if you don't have an opt-in, you can reach customers without having an opt-in, but it takes longer, and even with an agile setup, and it's a lot more expensive, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So you really have to check which customer is the perfect customer for a print mailing. So you cannot say the email is dead and everything we are doing with the communication goes via print mailing. So if it really has to be a very fast communication, so you want to inform a customer maybe about a special deal or a sale, then the email or push notification might be the best option, because a direct mail needs some time and then the deal is over. So you really have to find out this perfect trigger point for a direct mail. And it's more about the customer retention, and not really about communicating short deals. It's more like you're nourishing and pampering your customers more.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like the kind of the use case, and then also seeing what you do when. I always say, like, if you can send an email. If it converts, great. because it's just cheaper, it's more efficient, you have a higher ROI. But then again, if you can't, there's other options. How do you think about, like, to what extent do you think about, for example, customer value? That's something that we have here, right? The question, like, is customer value high enough for a certain customer that I target via, let's say, direct mail?
I think it's very common to spend a lot of money for the acquisition of customers, and I think a lot of companies are really shy about investigating in existing customers and loyal customers. But if you already acquired this customer is open for a communication and a relationship with you, then you don't have to shy away to investigating your customers. So you can also spend money for direct mail in the beginning of a life cycle. So the customer is very interactive with your product and your service. So of course, the value of a customer at this moment maybe is a little bit lower. But if you look at these potential value of this customer, if you're investigating at the beginning of this lifetime of the customer with different communication touch points and different tools, and if the customer really sees this company is investigating in our relationship and I'm important to this company, then also a direct mail is worth for maybe a less value customer at the beginning.
I think that's a very good point. I think, or what I'm seeing overall in the market is that there's a shift from what you also kind of described. There's a shift from new customer acquisition towards more CRM. New customer acquisition just because it's getting more expensive, it's getting more difficult. So once you have a customer, why don't we think about how to increase lifetime value, how to make sure that we don't have to reacquire that customer down the road. So yeah, I think there's different things, like there's overall developments in online marketing that lead to that, but then there's also the realization that CRM is actually extremely powerful in terms of making more out of the most out of that initial marketing investment.
Yeah, I think it's also, you can see it in different business models that you are really receiving great offers if you are a new customer or if a company wants to require you. But when you are a loyal customer, then you have, as a company, so many new touch points to communicate with your customers. So you have, for example, a birthday or an anniversary. So that are really points in your relationship with the customer. You are normally also talking to your friends too. So if someone has a birthday, then you are maybe sending a card, and why not doing that to your customers? So it's offering really great options. And also, I think for myself, when my birthday, I open my inbox and I receive thousands of mails from different companies. And there's not really the awareness for this one email of one company. But if I look in my inbox at my door and I receive maybe a flyer with some nice words and nice greetings, it's much longer in my mind than just an email.
I think that's a very good point. I like that, the idea that along the journey, like loyalty can be nurtured and loyalty can be created through touch points where we think about how we can value the customer. I love the whole birthday campaign topic. Of course, like now I'm just showing the different things that you're doing at Flaconi. Maybe you can give a bit of an overview of the other touch points. I really also think that the whole idea of, like you said earlier on, like a whole welcome touch point is a very, very powerful one to initiate a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, or for example, when you are at the 10th order, so as you can see here, we have a loyalty mailing for our 10th order, and I think that's also really important because you are appreciating the 10th order of a customer. So I think it's not that someone is ordering 10 times at the same company today. So you can always use these different touch points, and you're not really thinking about that this is a special moment for a customer, but you can make it a special moment with your customer. And also if you, for example, in the upper left, you have these churn prevention or reactivation. So especially in this part of a relationship with a customer, there's not really any interaction. So the customer is not visiting your website, he's not opening your emails. So you have to find new ways to communicate with the customer. And especially at this point, you can send him a print mailing and he can put it on the fridge maybe, and with a nice voucher and maybe some offers that there are new brands in the shop and we really miss him. So it really, yeah, for me, it has a higher value than just sending an email and saying, hey, we miss you. And that's it. You can also combine it, because sometimes you also have customers which are still showing interaction or engagement with your emails, but they are not really buying. So you can also combine these two touch points. So send them an email, maybe see, okay, if he's clicking, or maybe also what kind of links are clicked, is there any interaction on the website, and based on this behavior you can trigger a print mailing if no order happened in the last days. So there are very different options to combine these different communication tools.
I like that. What I like is that you basically, what you just described was churn prevention versus reactivation. And I think a lot of companies focus too much on reactivation. So when you've already lost a customer and they haven't bought in or interacted at all in 3 months, then you come back and you try to relive the kind of the feeling of the relationship that you had. But I think it's a lot more powerful to think about it in a more agile manner, where you say, hey, I have the indications that I'm losing this customer, that they're not buying, they're interacting here and there, but it's getting less. We're kind of breaking up, and I prevent that before it has happened. And what I very often see is that has a big effect on performance, because once you've lost them, you're starting not from scratch again, but you have to rebuild a lot more than you do if you read the signals right through the right kind of setup and interact fast and go for churn prevention and not reactivation. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
Next point is, I think, also an interesting one, and I think it's very often underestimated, is the question of format. So with direct mail, we have all these beautiful options. We can do all kinds of simple, but postcard things, but then also go crazy with different, the self-mailer formats, etc. And I always normally when we talk to customers, we tell them, hey, you have to A/B test. There's lots of things for every, even between use cases and audience, etc. There's different kinds of formats that perform differently. Maybe, you can give an idea of what we see here, how you see formats, and what you when, and how you got there.
Yeah, when you start at the beginning, so just to compare different communication tools, we saw in our test that a print mailing, because a lot of people saying print is dead. We had that at the beginning, but I can say it's not dead. So we can see really an uplift of around 60% in conversion rate. So if we compare a classical email to a print mailing, and I think that is really, really great numbers. And when you see these numbers, then it's also worth to investigate in offline communication tools. And when you see that offline is a communication tool a customer is interacting with, then you can also test on these different options to optimize even that one print mailing. So we tried out to send out a print mailing enveloped and unenveloped. And we saw that in the enveloped test group, the conversion rate even has an uplift about 40%. That are really, really great numbers. So we are decided to send out our print mailings enveloped. So because it's something like more special or more personal to the customer, because if you're receiving maybe marketing stuff at home and you have totally thousands of different flyers in your inbox, then maybe you throw it away. But if you really have an enveloped print flyer, you are opening it because you are interested what's in there. So that's a really good option to optimize your performance and also the conversion rate of the print mailing. And when it comes to different formats, you have to think about who you are talking with. So for example, if you are really identifying a loyal customer group, you can try to use these customers as brand ambassadors. So you can not just create a small flyer with a voucher and we miss you or thank you for your order. You can create really much more content about it. And the customer can give it to your friend and you can put a refer a friend voucher on it. So you really have different options in the communication style and also in the content of the mailing. So that's really great. That's really
I like
we're
that.
working on. Try it out the sales mailer.
Yeah, I like that. It's really interesting. It's also a balance between cost, right? Like because you have different, right? We also going from cheapest to more expensive options. And the question is then always like, for whom do I use what? Huh?
Yeah, a self mailer, of course, is a little bit more expensive than I would say a normal flyer. But if you're really using the right customer group and you see that your performance, that it's that the results are great. So why not doing different formats for different groups? So that's a possibility we have, and we should use these different kind of formats, because also when you're thinking about an email or push notification, you also differ there in the style. So why not doing it in the print mailing? So
Agree. I always love it when it's like, when you say we're doing this in digital, why don't we do it physical? Why, we see that this works digital. This is nice transition. What can we do physically? It's the question, like kind of the next level is the whole topic of picture personalization, I think, which is interesting, but it's also something to experiment a lot, right?
Yeah, so here you also have the topic. You're doing personalization is a very big thing in email marketing and also on-site in your shop. So why not doing it offline? So we tried it. As you can see, it's one of our Christmas campaigns from last year. And we did it's not a triggered based or an automated mailing. It was a big mailing around Christmas. And we did an A/B testing with our customers to send a more generic Christmas visual against a more personalized or highly personalized print mailing. So we used a recommendation engine of Imazis, and so it's highly personalized based on the clicking or buying behavior of the customers. And when the customer is receiving this mailing, he really sees the products he viewed in the shop, or maybe fitting products to the one he bought before. So that's a really, really great option to also personalize, not only in name or, for example, in the voucher, but really in the different content of the print.
I think that's a very, what I like about, I mean, there's different benefits of personalization. One of them is also why it's powerful for the reasons that you have an email, right? Like say a similar reason, because it's physical, but in the end, it's also customer interaction. Why I think it's also very powerful very often to use personalization is because you said it before, like when people open their mailbox, normally they have there's a lot of useless stuff in there. A lot of unpersonalized stuff that is just dropped in everywhere. And for the customer to realize this company is writing to me, this is for me especially, and this is not for my, my neighbor doesn't get this. I think that drives a different kind of performance, perception.
Also that I have a feeling that the company knows about my behavior or what I like, and is really is interested in my relationship with the company, because I can send the same stuff to everyone, but as we can see in the email, so we can also see in print that personalization is the king, you're always saying.
Yes, I think that's a good transition to the last question. What's next? Maybe like an outlook. Where do you see e-commerce going, or Flaconi? What can you tell us?
For us, it's always important to look in new technologies and to see where the trends in CRM. So I think one of the most important topics in the last year is artificial intelligence. So you can use it for personalization on site. You can use it for the segmentation of emails, but maybe it also works for segmentation of print mailings. So that one is really, so we have this topic, it's all about data since a few years. There are so many unused options to use your data and to really not use it for segmentation, but also to find different communication styles and new tools. And that is really our focus. So we really want to build a special relationship with our customer. So the customer really should have the feeling that he wants to have this relationship and he wants to also investigate in this relationship. And for that, you always have to find new options or new ways to communicate with your customer and also to make and to interact, because I think especially in this digital fast-moving world, you are really, really easily bored or very quick. So you have to find new ways. So interact with your customer, and I think that's the most important point we are working on. And I think there's still a lot of potential that is unused at the moment. And
I think great summary. I think like what I always see from my experience, the companies that are, I think, the most successful in taking these steps are normally the ones that see the opportunities in different new ways of technology, new ways of interacting, and then there's lots of testing. Not everything works, not everything is smooth, but that's, I think, also what I see, like the way.
Yeah, but you always have to just test and find out if it works, and maybe there is this golden key you are finding while you are testing, and you can take it and make it even bigger. And if it's not working, then you tried it, but without trying, you find this perfect combination of communication, of tools, or of different content. So it's all about testing and trying out new things.
Love it. I absolutely agree. And with that, I hand over the microphone to you, Norbert.
Thank you so much for this valuable insights. So, and especially thanks to Janina. So, especially for your open feedback. So you give us really a deep insight to your strategy. This is not, this is really special, let's say, because nobody tells such open about your internal strategy. I really appreciate this. So, and then Rob, as you said, direct mail for me, it's a hidden champion. As I said, when it comes down to channels. So for me personalized, when I see a lot of feedback from customers, when you discuss with what is the right channel, and you're absolutely right that direct mail is for me the hidden champion. It's the most expensive, for sure. Everybody knows that. But when you look to your experience at Flaconi, it works. And that's at the end of the day, the right thing to do. So, and also please don't forget to have a look at our other Retail Revival sessions. Many of them are already available on demand in case you've missed them. And this is the end of the session. And I want to again say a big thank you to you, Janina and Robert, and for sure to our viewers. So we hope you have a great time at Retail Revival and see you soon. Thank you.